Hello.
What is this?
I'm glad you asked. This is Destiny, the first look alpha that was actually announced at the Sony press conference for PlayStation 4. Actually, I had to pull this off of the Facebook and stuff. It was quite a process to get the commentary on this one, but I was actually really excited to get a hold of this game and actually see what it played like, because there wasn't a ton of super specific details on how this game actually played and stuff. And like it's kind of like a really solid shooter with a lot of MMO and like super powered trappings and some cool sci-fi stuff thrown in for good measure. It's got a good slide, as you can see. Also, obviously the game looks really good. You'll see that a lot more clearly when I get out of this dungeon, I guess. The MMO stuff makes this game really interesting, because you'll go into areas that are huge and really open, and you can kind of go wherever you want, and then you'll end up going in dungeons and stuff for major missions. Obviously there's different classes of enemies, and you've got your cannon fodder that runs at you, and your dudes that kind of sit back and shoot. The enemies are actually really interesting, and you can see a lot of Halo stuff in there, like obviously a lot of stuff from the elites, and just the way the more clever enemies move. You can see that pretty clearly. But yeah, again, like, I mean, just the shooting and stuff feels better than Halo has to me. The bosses and stuff, like, again, the crazy MMO stuff that's in there. There will be huge bosses at the end of every dungeon, air quotes. So I just kind of switch the shotgun here and mow all these dudes down. The game's actually pretty hard. You have to be pretty safe. You can't just kind of run in. Again, that could actually be because of the class I'm playing. I'm playing the Warlock class, which is probably pretty squishy in relation to the Titan and Hunter classes, which are also available in the alpha. So I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not. I'm mopping up the smaller enemies before I try to tackle the big guy. So you've seen me using my melee a little. Probably use the grenade here soon. The grenade is actually class specific as well. The Titan has like a shock grenade. The Hunter has a fire grenade, I believe. And the Warlock here has I don't know what to call it, a black hole grenade, I guess. It sits in the ground and does damage over time. They all do damage over time, I believe. So there's the melee. The melees are actually really cool, and you get upgrades to the melee as well as part of your class and your RPG mechanics. I like it a lot. The RPG mechanics, I mean, really good. So start getting some loot over there in the corner, as you can see. Start attack on these guys one at a time. Start shooting that thing, hoping it will blow up because it's red, but it doesn't blow up. Like, how do you put giant red barrels in the game that don't explode? Every class has its own sort of jetpack analog. The Warlock can actually just kind of fly. Right? He has air control and everything. And there's the Super. It's like an upgraded version of my black hole grenade. It does a ton of damage. This guy's kind of meant to be super hard, and he definitely is. So, for my level, anyway. You could have stayed out in the area that I was previous to this and grinded. And so you get some loot, you get some XP, you get some money, some glimmer, as it's called. And there's the bonus. All that leveled up to level 4. So that boss was actually a level above me, which is probably why it took so long to beat him. So they do a lot to put your character on the screen, which makes sense, you know. So this is kind of the main menu. They have never shown this. This is the menu you look at a lot. You sort of choose a location. There's 3: Earth, the Tower, and the Crucible. The Tower is the hub city, which is where I'm headed now. The Earth is the mission section, and the Crucible is the PvP, which I don't get into in this video, but maybe I'll make another one about the PvP. So the loading screens are actually really long. I cut around them to end up back in the hub city a little faster, but I really hope they're not as long in the full game because it's pretty brutal. So here's the hub city, and this is probably the most MMO-ish thing in the game. I go in, here's the loot menu. Everything's done with this kind of cursor system, which is weird. They give you just some visual stuff, it looks like, from that first mission. It's not actually any different. It's just visually slightly different. I actually don't like the way it looks, so I changed back. And so you can dismantle for Glimmer, for currency, your extra trash loot or whatever. Again, that's just a visual change, which is great. I mean, if they continue, like if they do stuff like that, then it's really cool. So you got your primary weapon, your special weapon, and your heavy weapon. So the primary weapon slots are just kind of your standard machine gun, burst rifle, single fire, and revolver. And as you can see, it's got Bungie skyboxes. It's got the Bungie trademark skybox. This guy's actually a robot. There's 3 races you can choose from. Sort of the robot guys, the Awoken, which I'm not familiar with the lore on this game, but they seem to be sort of just standard humans with like weird eyes and weird hair. I'm not sure. So this game even has mail, like a MMO game. So yeah, I can grab some stuff from the mailbox. I level up. This is your skills menu. Level 8 is actually the max for the alpha right now. So I'm not really familiar with everything that's in there, but so yeah, you run around the hub, you can talk to random NPCs, there's a lot of vendors. There's mode specific currency, like all this stuff is from PvP. Like you get all this from PvP points, so it's pretty cool. I mean, go over here to my Vanguard, which I assume is sort of like a prestige type thing. Like you'll hit max level and maybe you can become a Vanguard. More MMO stuff, you can choose your reward. I just kind of scroll over and check out what they all do. These are all like specific to one type of weapon, and I'm not really sure what I like yet, so it's tough to decide. But just go with the chest piece because I figure it's gonna look the best. Scroll through here. Got a lot of money. Stuff seems pretty cheap at my level, so I don't know if they'll rebalance that later or not, but it doesn't do a compare to equipped thing, which is really annoying. Like it should really just compare that specific piece of loot to what you have equipped, but it does not. So I actually got that from the quest, and then I chose that as my main like mega reward or whatever. And as you can see, it's matches my boots nicely, so it's very important to color coordinate. And again, matching stuff, so got this really weird, and so these bonds and stuff, I'm not sure what they do, if they have any kind of status effects later on in the game maybe, but at least for the first few levels they're just purely aesthetic changes. So here I go into explore mode, which is probably the most MMO-ish thing in the game. And of course the first thing I do is try to figure out how to do interactions. And I figure it out. It's actually the D-pad. It's no menus or anything. You can dance and point and wave and sit down. Me and this dude dancing around a little bit. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I got stuff to do. Got to explore this land. So in explore mode, you just kind of let loose in a giant area. There's only the one in the alpha, but there's these beacons on the ground that are flashing green, and you grab a mission from them. There's no limit to the missions in every specific area.
There are relics near this location that hold vital intelligence for our experiments.
So you can pull up your ghost, which is that robot thing. It's actually the thing that gives you most of your mission dialogue and such. And it's also your nav way. It's also the way you pull up navigation stuff. You go to orbit, which is how you get to the basically the main menu, and it also allows you to summon your vehicle. You always have a vehicle, which is great because, like I said, this area is actually really huge. So, I mean, there's still stuff. Since this video, I've actually played a lot. I've leveled this guy up to max, and I've played the other two classes a little bit. There are still areas where I look and I'm like, I assume I can get there, but I have not seen it yet. So following the waypoints eventually leads me into this cavern, and there's a couple enemies in here, but I didn't, let's get past that. And it actually takes me out to this whole new area of the map that I had never seen before. It's really cool. Obviously, again, it looks really, really good. So I start trying to pick these guys off from a distance. Doesn't really work out too well, so I decided to move in for the shoddy. Shotgun's super powerful, but it's got massive recoil. So it seems like enemies with yellow health bars will be kind of your elite mobs and such. Really strong, a lot of health, some extra abilities like maybe they can teleport, stuff like that. Shotgunning. Spongy game, so the shotgun is really, really good. Eventually make my way over to the elite pack. Start killing them. Ah, jetpacks. But I screwed it up. There's no mantle, which is unfortunate. I really wish you could pick it up, but yeah, the physics on the jetpack are really nice though, because also that's really cool. You can just you can melee from midair, and it pulls you down towards them. Looks really good. So here's the mission. I'm supposed to scan this thing, which basically means defend the ghost while it's scanning. I didn't realize I didn't actually put it all the way down. So again, more Halo stuff like the dropship. And there's the super and my grenade all at once to kind of really tear these guys up. So this explore mode is really cool. It's just kind of like a way to grind out some levels and stuff if you don't feel like doing PvP, if you don't feel like doing story missions. There's only one story mission in the alpha, so it's kind of just exploring in PvP, which is totally fine. I mean, PvP is fun. They've only have domination or control point or whatever they call it here.
Great job. I'll update future
PvP,
work.
but yeah, you do the missions. You get a bunch of experience for every mission, and kind of look around and open up your ghost menu and decide which mission you're taking next. Head over to it. Grind out a few levels that way. I mean, it's kind of simple, but it's actually really fun, and I had a lot of fun in explore mode. If you had a group of 2 or 3 people, which it seems like you should, then it would be really fun. There's also strike missions in this in the alpha, which maybe I'll make a video about those as well, but they're basically just more involved 4-player missions. They're basically dungeon runs. But yeah, that's the alpha. Thanks for watching.